And hey guys, and welcome back to our second episode of McDonald County 411, sponsored by the McDonald County Chamber of Commerce. Today, my special guest is Jana Reiches of Little Sugar Farm in Jane, Missouri. Hi, Jana.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm fascinated with your family's background story about this farm. I was doing research and stumbled upon revelations of, it's been in your family since the early 1900s.
Yes.
So just tell me a little bit about that.
So the farm, my family originally came to this area in the mid 1800s. I'm part of the Russell family. And they settled in what was called White Rock at the time, which is now Jane.
Yes.
And so that was mid 1800s. And then my great grandparents were the first ones in the farmhouse on our farm.
Oh, nice.
My belief is that my great grandfather had bought the farm for that. He was wealthy. They had a bunch of he had an egg business in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, nice.
Called J.T. Russell and Son.
I love that name.
Yeah.
J.T. Russell sounds
Russell.
like the classic, like Midwestern cowboy, J.T. Russell.
J.T. Russell and Sons. And so what happened is he bought the farm in the early 1900s. His parents lived in it, Willie and Zora Russell. And there's a whole line of descendants of people in McDonald County from Willie and Zora.
So awesome.
But anyway, and then in the 1960s, my grandparents moved permanently to the farm.
Okay.
And started cattle ranching.
Now, what brought them there?
They were living in Tulsa.
What prompted that decision?
Yeah, they were living in Tulsa, and the family, the different parts of the properties were being split up in the early 60s, and my grandparents decided to come farm.
Yeah, okay.
And so they farmed. They had chickens, pigs at the time, if you can believe it, cattle. And my grandfather, who hadn't been a generational farmer, actually utilized the McDonald County Extension's office at the time, to really help with farming there.
I love that.
And so a lot of words with soil conservation and land management, which was really neat. So they worked the farm from the 60s. My grandmother died in the 90s. And then my father was an only child predeceased my grandfather.
Okay.
And then my grandfather left me and my sister were the only grandchildren with this piece of property.
I wondered how, and I am sorry, about your father and grandfather no longer being here, but I did wonder when I read that it passed straight from your grandfather to you and Nikki.
Right.
So that's why.
My father died in 2004, and so what a lot of people don't know is my sister and I ended up with elder care in the late 30s, which was super interesting. We took really good care of my papa. So, but we ended up with this piece of property, and both of us knew we had grown up in the summers here. Even though we didn't go to McDonald County High School, we grew up in Dallas. We had such connection here because we were here every summer.
Summers are popping. That's the time to come.
Yes, and we would play in the creek.
Two city gals and the
and my grandmother was kind of bougie, to be honest with you too. She always found
I love that.
with all this stuff. We always, little holes and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the creeks, rivers here, and we just ran along the farm in the summers. And so we have a lot of happy memories. And so when we inherited the farm, my sister and I knew we didn't want to sell it. And a lot of people, when they inherit a property, end up selling it because they don't know what to do with it. And we left that for a while. And then in 2010, we renovated the farmhouse to become one of the first vacation rentals in this area. There was another
10 years ago would have been ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Like now we do have several but
back then in 2010, there was only like one in Pineville. I think they're still there. I know there's always been in the Elk River, a few more, but we were the only ones like in that part of the county. So anyway, we now have legacy guests that have been coming back for generations. Like,
oh, I love that.
Long time. Return guests. Yeah. They bring their kids that grown up coming to the farmhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. For vacation.
And why I love that, just real quick, is because more than just vacation, I feel like the accumulation over time and visits makes it almost like a second home. Like those legacy visitors are like you and your sister growing up, like just repeatedly having exposure to this area. And I love that.
That connection. And so that was fantastic. We could provide that opportunity for other people and come up and visit ourselves.
Yeah.
We wanted to do that and not just rent the farmhouse out permanently.
Yeah.
We did that for a little bit, and but we didn't get to come up and enjoy the property. And so starting towards the end of 2018, 2019, my husband and I, our children, were getting out of the house. And my husband were trying to reimagine what our life would look like.
Sure.
After graduation, after the youngest graduated from high school. And so we decided in 2019 to go to a glamping conference. And we thought, let's get some glamping tents and let's put together this for the farm. Well, we thought at first, before COVID, that we would do like a little bit. We would still live in Dallas, come up and do the glamping. Well, that didn't work. COVID happened.
Yeah.
We ended up moving to Missouri permanently in 2021.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but during COVID, wasn't there a huge, like the summer, a boom in camping? I believe outdoor equipment. People were like buying kayaks and canoes. I know I bought a trampoline for my kids during COVID, and that was hard to find. So I imagine, sadly, for sad reasons, but you became really popular really quickly.
Yes, and the other attribute that we have on the farm is Paul and I, during 2020, we had built a really nice, what we called our deck house.
Oh, nice.
We have four full bathrooms, 2 outdoor showers, now with bathtubs too, which is really cool. Yeah, yes. And then we put the tents on platforms at the time. They're all on platforms now. So we decided to develop that concept and then add in as well events, because we have 2 giant bars.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we can get to there.
Really interested in the retreats and things, because I know it's even in Northwest Arkansas, it's becoming wildly popular, but things like corporate retreats, even like a lot of big businesses, people think, well, I don't know what people think, but a lot of people in the corporate world are using those as like team building weekends.
We haven't done as much. Well, I take it back. We have had a couple of team building events, specifically with a company called Plexus.
Oh, cool.
They came to downlines. Yeah, they came with their downline and did like a 4-day retreat for team building with that. We've had a lot of women's wellness retreats.
Yes.
We've had.
So what goes on, just out of curiosity, what is a typical weekend for you as host on like a women's wellness weekend?
Usually 99% of the time people rent out our property. So I provide the space.
So you aren't there hands-on helping. You don't have to make.
I'm not facilitating.
Okay.
Right. And managing what happens to make sure everything flows smoothly.
Gotcha.
So my clients can provide that service to their guests.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So for instance, usually most of the retreats that we do are Friday through Sunday. And so most people show up after work or thereabouts, between 4 and 6.
Nice.
And I give itinerary information, because a lot of people that come and do retreats on those are new to doing retreats as well.
See that?
Yeah, we provide support.
I actually would love to do a retreat. I have never done one, but I really am a big believer of, all the things, not as much as I should be in, but the journaling and the yoga and the nature walks. I think it's good for the soul.
It is very good.
It's chicken soup for the soul.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So, and we kind of skipped over. So once after the glamping pod convention,
right?
How soon did things take off? How soon?
It's taken a while.
Okay.
It's taken a while, because at first people didn't really know what we were doing and having people find us.
Okay.
I am on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok a little bit, not as much as the other platforms.
What do you think, real quick, would get the most traction off of? Which platforms? Facebook. Okay.
I've been working on my Facebook account for many years. I have 7,000 followers, which in the big scheme of things isn't a lot, but on the other hand,
it is. No, that's good.
It's all organic.
Yeah.
Literally
just over time, your customer base. So that makes it a true customer base.
Yeah.
It's not a bot customer base. That's a built customer base. And there is a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Facebook, I do a lot of working that way, a lot of networking. I find when I go out
Yeah,
into Northwest Arkansas or Southwest Missouri or whatever, wherever I go,
yeah,
I'm that ambassador for our business.
yeah.
And I meet a lot of people. And even though it was just like, I kind of back up on this, I did sell real estate in Texas.
Oh,
So one of the things when
I
you,
can see you being good at that.
oh, well,
Yeah,
I get to. One of the things with real estate is when you have to realize that even though those people might not be your clients at that time,
Mm-hmm.
in the future, like I had people coming back to me this year that are like, oh my gosh, you took a tour of your farm a couple of years ago. I'm finally ready to do that retreat.
Nice.
Or I'm finally ready to do that event or wedding.
Right.
You know, here and there we'll have weddings and such.
And those things don't happen overnight for those people either.
Yeah.
They take planning.
Yeah.
So, how far should a person book out, like if they're interested in doing like a bachelorette weekend or a corporate retreat or a church women's group wellness? Like, is there still availability for this like summer and early fall season?
I do. Spring is a little tight.
Okay.
I'm getting tight on my fall, like because fall is such a popular
imagine that would out there in that area you guys are at.
I've got a few fall September dates, and then I've got a few June dates. July and August is being tad bit slower just because it's hot. But we do have air conditioning.
Okay, guys, those of you looking to have a fall wedding in McDonald County,
Yeah.
perfect place for it.
Like Richmond Entire Farm.
Yeah,
It's a farm. And we also, a lot of times people combine the farmhouse and the glamping.
I love.
And so you get the climate control.
You could get ready there. The bride, the groomsmen have their separate areas and come together.
Yes.
I love that. I actually love it better now, even knowing that whoever rents it out, it really is an exclusive experience.
Yes.
You're right. That's like your farm for the weekend. So figure it out. I love that. Those how exclusive is that? You know, you don't have a concierge or anybody to bother with. It's just you and your fam, and I like that. I like that.
My husband and I provide that back end support, so people don't have to worry about anything when they're having like there's a couple of weddings that we've had where the caterers were late.
No,
they never do it because I'm back in support and I coordinate to make sure everything happens without anybody else knowing it goes smooth.
You're right. A good host that a guest will never know. They never know about problems, even though there's probably 42. No. So
that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Well, I know looking on your website too, I know you guys, you and Paul and Nikki are really good about advertising too, about the other things and adventures that there are to do.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of talk a little bit about what you promo for the guests when they come.
Oh gosh, I have an entire vendor list.
Yeah.
I have a licensed massage therapist.
What do you think's the most popular thing that people actually do take advantage? Because we all get rushed with the, you know, you go to Branson and you get the 15 flyers, but what is it that you actually see people follow through with the most? Is it like fishing, or are they into like going canoeing or?
Yeah, they like to go kayaking and canoeing. We have a little bit less of I'm trying to make some contacts in Northwest Arkansas for some kayak companies down there for the Little Sugar Creek.
Yes.
Because the Little Sugar doesn't have as much of an outfitter on there right now, as Big Sugar and the Elk River. But a lot of people will come and they'll do, like I have several people that I'll send them to on Big Sugar and Little Sugar, or Big Sugar and the Elk River.
So that's an interesting point you just made is, because you're right, Little Sugar, doesn't have, I feel like more locals than anybody really float, Little Sugar because you're right, there's not any big outfitters, but that would be a worthy cause is to change that, because those are like,
I don't know hard with that too, to be honest with you, because having come here my entire life, sugar's like a little jewel. That not many people are right. And so it's a lot more private because of what's happening in Northwest Arkansas. All of that traffic's coming in, which is fine. And there's a couple of kayakers, kayak companies that are starting to be prevalent in Northwest Arkansas. And now you can float all the way from Bella Vista. Oh yeah, you can float Bella Vista all the way to like, yeah. And that's St. Hill Farm, which is really, really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I did want to touch on, because I thought it was really interesting when I was kind of digging in your background, as you talked a lot about volunteering. And just to me personally, that hit because I'm also passionate about the cause, just the general idea behind helping hands, and, two is better than one, three is better than two.
Right.
So it sounded like you had some pretty interesting stories from your past, and maybe even some like international volunteering.
Oh my gosh.
Can you speak a little bit about that?
It was a long time ago, but yes, I've done international volunteering. So I was a flight attendant for American Airlines for 15 years.
How awesome.
And one of the organizations I did a lot of work with was Miracles in Action
Okay.
and Airline Ambassadors. And Airline Ambassadors was a organization that actually escorted kids that needed medical treatment into the United States and back. I did that once and worked with them a little bit. I also did work with Miracles in Action back when, oh my gosh, that was pretty wild, back during actually 9/11, like right around that time. And we did I organized giant clothing drops for Ecuador. And so I was going in these churches that had huge
I love
attendance.
that. Yeah.
And we would actually get clothes, and I got them got on planes, like boxes and boxes of stuff on planes out of Chicago O'Hare to get down to Ecuador.
How
And
fascinating.
during 9/11, which was kind of exciting because it's like before and after. I did one drop before and one drop after. And I was like,
So I'm
it's pretty wild. Yes.
I'm sorry because I have to ask about that. So knowing you were a flight attendant during 9/11, how did your job change like overnight? I imagine the security that you woke up one morning and your protocols and were one way, and then your world was rocked.
It had all changed. So before I was on maternity when it happened, and I was scheduled to go back right after maternity leave.
And then you leave.
Yeah. Well, it was a scary time, and I went back, and obviously everybody sees all the protocols now as what that kind of went over. Yeah, you always had some security where you had to go through, but now it's just pretty particular, which is really good.
It is good, yes. And I do feel like every day, is the FFA, I guess it would be. I feel like they are trying to make strides to speed lines up to, but you can only do what you can do. It's crazy here. That's what it is.
To travel and everything. But we always loved having volunteer too.
Yeah.
Because McDonald County is now our home. I don't really think we'd ever move back to a big city anymore because we do love where we live a lot.
Did you, one more question about the 9/11?
Yeah.
Because it's sadly fascinating, but did you know anyone by chance?
I had flown with one of the captains that I had known. I had flown with him over a couple of people, but it was tragic. It was very, very tragic.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing ever like that happens again.
Something like that, does that kind of help, like something that rocks your core? And you were obviously on maternity leave, so I'm sitting there thinking you had at least one coming kid, if not more children at home. Does this influence your decision to leave city life or to start percolating the thought about leaving city life to move to country?
No, it's fine because it was in 2001. We did not move until 2020. And our biggest goal as a parent was to raise kids in the best education system we could. And of course, my husband's an architect.
Yes.
He still works as an architect in Northwest Arkansas, but he's had careers in Dallas and the Chicago area. And so he has actually his own business in the Chicago area. So we had to live in big cities at the time because of his career choices.
Yeah.
And so that's why we raised our kids there. And then finally, when they got to be a certain age, we wanted to change our lives. In 2020, COVID gave us a perfect excuse.
Yeah.
A perfect reason. And it just flowed.
Yeah.
It just flowed. And now I live where my father lived 50 years ago on the farm.
That's so awesome. I love it. And you're right. When a decision is right, I feel like you know it, because if everything is flowing and you're not meeting any obstacles and doors are just opening and it's just naturally happening, I feel like you just know, you have.
Absolutely.
So to go back to Paul, I did speak with Paul on the phone, and I think it's fascinating that he is he's in architecture, and he's worked over 40 years, right, in the industry. 40 years,
probably 40.
Yeah,
40 years. He's designed everything you can imagine.
So he has been crucial in not only the planning, but the building and the maintaining of all those structures that you have out there, which I imagine is a task. So, yeah. Tell me a little bit about you guys' relationship and just your true partnership that you seem to have that I think is always a key behind a successful business is a strong couple that are on the same page and working together for the same goals.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about like how crucial Paul's been to this whole.
Gosh, I never do it without him.
Yeah.
There's no way. There is absolutely no way. We kind of didn't know what we were doing when we got into it. I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, but the thing with this business, it's a lot more labor than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I mean, we're not super young. And so it's been really interesting.
Yeah.
But we do work as a team. We're still married.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
Really, it's a big canvas tense. Wow. Yeah. But we've been at work together. Yeah. And he seems to really enjoy doing that. I asked him, I'm like, are you enjoying being on the farm? He enjoys it.
So it's not even like I have to twist his arm.
No.
He's right. Yeah, you can tell the way he speaks about it. He's passionate about it too.
He is.
So thinking ahead, just because you mentioned you and Paul are getting older,
Yes.
any of your children have their eye on wanting to farm, or any of your children into that hospitality or wanting, what do you think is going to happen? I know you don't know, but
if I can build, my goal is to build it up. And one of the things we had not talked about is the influx of the bicycling world.
Oh yeah,
is to this area.
Yeah, because
it's huge. Yeah, building the business up to where it's viable to keep the farm in the family. I'm sure at least one of my kids or one of my sister's kids would take it over and do it. But it's got to be viable to where they can
a business that self-sustains and where it's not a burden.
And that was the whole goal in the first place.
It's a good goal. Yeah, because I do remember reading that back when you and Nikki took it over, something about there was a struggle there a little bit about this just kind of was in your lap now.
Yeah.
And making it a viable business that it did.
We didn't know what to do with it. Now it's been a cattle ranch. We know, it's a pretty decent amount of property.
Yeah.
So
you guys have like how many acres?
373.
Okay, yeah.
So most of it's leased out for cattle ranchers. We have
like local cattle ranchers.
Local cattle ranchers. Yeah. Yeah. And we've had a couple here for 5 years. A new couple that came in 5 years ago, and their land management skills are impeccable. And they've done a great job. It looks almost like my grandfather.
Well, that kind of frees you and Paul up a little bit because you also, you were definitely a world traveler just during our conversations. And so I imagine at some point in your life, you're going to want to do that again and go and do those fun things. What is in 10 years from now, what do you hope you and Paul are doing? Where do you hope you're living? When you're traveling?
Well, it'd be nice to have, I would love to live still on the farm. Yeah, I do. But I also like to have a condo on the beach or something.
On the beach, yes.
Yeah. Or some place, chickens are in Dallas. Chickens in Dallas or in Atlanta, but something to where we can see them maybe a little bit more than we do.
Yeah. It's never hard to get a grandkid to come visit grandma on the beach, right?
That's right.
Let's go visit grandma and grandpa on the beach. I do, wrapping things up here, I did a segment last week with Dustin over the school district and asking them about his favorite teacher because I want to make it a point at the 411 to shout out as many people in the community as we can. So, unfortunately, you were not a Mustang. We'll forgive you for that. No, just going to your favorites in the county. What are some of your favorite things to do in McDonald County? Like, where are you when you and Paul aren't tied up and he's not working in Northwest Arkansas and you have a free few hours to blow on a Saturday afternoon, what are you going to do?
Usually we will go. I really love the St. Bistro. Oh, I got the man that are adorable.
They are. Talk about a perfect example of a great power couple working a business.
They do. They are the sweetest. I'd like to go over and see Scott at the coffee bar.
Yeah.
With the trailer.
Yeah.
Also, we love, to be honest with you, Haven 55. That's just funny. Yeah, we've been wondering and believe it or not, the chef is a distant relative. I'm like, oh yeah, he's yeah. His mom Pam. I can't remember where that goes down in the morning.
Well, Pam was an O'Brien's.
Yes.
I actually went to school with those boys.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a great family too.
But he's so consistent.
They're very successful with that.
Yes.
Been in business for a long time now.
Since we opened the vacation rental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's right there is props.
Absolutely. Pretty really, really, really cool. And the other two organizations, I sponsored the theater, the McDonald County Theater last year. The past 2 years, I've sponsored the Southwest Missouri Bike Club.
Oh, nice.
And the Bike Club is kids in Southwest Missouri. It's part of the NICA, which is the National Youth Bike Association.
Yes. And don't they help kids get hooked up with a bike?
Yes.
I see them riding in a lot of the parades we have around here. They'll ride and do cool tricks. I know McDonald biking is blown up. McDonald County has a biking team now.
Right.
And that's been wildly popular with our students.
Right.
And Northwest Arkansas has been helpful in getting those programs with our kids.
Right.
That's for another podcast.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
For sure.
tell people how to get a hold of you. What's the best way to make reservations or find out more information about like Little Sugar Farm?
You can go straight to our website, littlesugarfarm.com.
LittleSugarFarm.com.
littlesugarfarm.com. We've been doing a little revamp on it, but you should be able to go directly off there.
Okay.
And then if you have a group of people you want to talk about, or you even want to do a tour, like I do a lot of tours.
Yeah.
I did one last weekend. Oh my gosh, we have the coolest thing coming up this fall. These people are doing a murder mystery weekend.
No.
And it's specifically, they're going to write it specifically for this area. Yeah, that's setting. Yeah. So that's really cool. But anyway, I did a tour with them and kind of showed them everything. So if anybody is ever interested in a tour, just give me a call. My phone number is all over the place. It's a 9417 number. It's a 214 for the Dallas. But still, I was thinking about changing that. But anyway,
we'll put links too.
Yes,
for everything.
absolutely.
But going back to the murder mystery thing, that seriously is something that is also booming.
Yes.
The Little Theater that you were just speaking of.
Yeah.
I believe last weekend did a murder mystery theater.
I saw that.
Yeah. But I have never been to one and they're all over. But I really want to go to one. And the idea of it being like a weekend is like mind blowing to me and fascinating. And I would love that.
We also have this new collaboration with a company called Outdoor Education Services, OES.
Ooh.
And they're doing a night hike, a moon hike, and fancy dinner in May. May 1st. Yes.
Okay. Can people still
They can still find out that. And then we have this big women's event coming out June 13th. As well with Women's Wealth 360, which is a group that I'm at in Northwest Arkansas. They're going to come out and do a women's festival. And like that, it feels absolutely fantastic. But just lots on it.
They're on one of those events and check it out.
Yes.
All right. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of really cool things going on. And so definitely check that out. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for being here, Jana. I really appreciate it. And you guys be sure to tune in next Wednesday, for another episode of McDonald County 411. Thanks, guys. Bye. All right. I think we got some good stuff. We got